Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, Anchor, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I want to raise the question this morning: where is your anchor? Have you used your anchor? Or is your anchor just sitting in the boat, unused, in the midst of the storm that you find yourself in? This morning, anchor, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And we're going to get right into it on this morning because it's all about the anchor that you have in the midst of your storm. Everybody has one. What is yours? What is yours? It's going to give you the text to talk to take away 5 minutes or less. The text is this: Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we have not yet seen. Faith is confidence in the things that we hope for, but it is also the confidence and assurance about what we have not seen. I haven't seen it, but I have certainty that is going to come to pass. I have a hope that is going to come to pass. In other words, my faith is my confidence. Let me just share this with you. I just remember the days of hearing my mother in the kitchen over a huge pot of pinto beans or the pressure cooker with the little dial on it, the little thing on it, just shaking and shaking. And I'm getting more hungry and hungry as I could smell the food cooking and her singing a hymn. Make sure your anchor holds and grips the solid rock. That rock is Jesus. That rock is Jesus. She said, make sure your anchor holds and grips the solid rock. There's three things I want to share with you about the anchor of your faith. The anchor of your faith. The first thing is this: this is the confidence that we have that when we pray, he hears us. First John 5:14 through 15. First John 5:14 through 15. That my anchor is in the Lord, and I have a confidence when I pray. When I pray, I cast the anchor because I know that he's going to hold me in the midst of the storm. I don't know who you are, where you are, and what you're dealing with right now. But if the storms are raging in your life, throw your anchor so that you might have a whole thing in the midst of all the things that are going on. Your anchor is your faith in the Lord. And that is when you pray. When you pray. Here's the second thing I want you to grab a hold of, and that is stay with the boat. Stay with the boat. Now, I'm not a maritime person. I'm not a sailor. I'm a retired Air Force chaplain. But I do know, and I have heard from my Navy comrades, if you will, my fellow servicemen and women, that if there is a storm, stay with the boat. As if at all possible, don't leave the boat because that's the first place they're going to look. They're going to look when they do the search and rescue. The first place that they're going to go and look is the boat. Why should I stay with the boat? Because Jesus is in the boat. Matthew 8:23-27 said he was asleep down in the boat. I got my anchor, and my anchor is Jesus. And I don't need to jump overboard in the midst of this storm. Why? Because Jesus is in the boat. Stay with the boat. Stay with the boat. Stay with Jesus no matter what. Use your anchor. It's a whole thing. And here's the third thing I want you to grab a hold of. Ignore the winds and noise of the voices of those who are crying out. In Matthew 14:30, you already know Jesus had jumped overboard. He had looked and he was walking, and then everybody was screaming out, and then he looked at the wind. He looked at the wind. Looking at the wind is not going to help you win. The wind of the noise of everybody chippering and chattering and chirping about where you are and what you're doing and how or whether or not you're going to make it. Ignore the wind, the noise. What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: hold on and have faith in Jesus. Hold on and have faith in Jesus. Your anchor in Him is a whole thing. It's a whole thing. The Lord be with you today. May His face shine upon you and give you peace. If this bless you, bless somebody else. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. God bless you. Bye now.